Hello, hello, and welcome back to the channel. As most of you know, I'm Topher. And for those of you who don't know and just randomly decided to click on my video, welcome to the channel. I'm Topher. Thank you for stopping by. So we're here to do a reaction, and we're diving back into Blueming. We're diving into episodes 6 and 7. Episode 5, we left off with Siwon finding out from his friend that he won the contest for, you know, his movie entry, and Siwon seems caught off guard by this because he mentioned a number of times that he wasn't planning on entering his video. He didn't think he'd win, plus his friend wanted him to look at his stuff, and his friend was feeling some type of way. He was feeling all manner of upset, and I'm like, it was starting to make me look at this friend a little differently, because like, since he came onto the screen however many episodes ago, I'm like, I'm rooting for you, baby. Yes, I don't care who I'm shipping you, I just want to ship you with somebody. You are precious. And then all of a sudden he flipped a script, and I'm like, ooh, baby, you're still cute, but I don't know if I like this side. I don't know if I want to ship you with people now. I still ship you with me because, you know, I love a walking red flag, but like, I don't know. And then Dawoon was standing there in the background just looking concerned, because they also revealed that his parents were, like, you know, big to-do people in the business and may have had some strings to pull with winning the competition. So we're gonna dive in and just see where these next couple episodes take us. Also, the way you stroking the back of his neck right now, child.
안 고쳐져 찌질한 건.
I wish I had this fine-ass man stroking the back of my neck and talking in his whispered, bassy voice, child.
더 많이 위로해줘.
It's like, girl, I didn't say stop. Did nobody tell you to stop petting me?
그 와중에 네가 나 싫어하면 어떡하나 생각도 들고.
나 오늘 너네 집에서 잘게.
어?
Oh, okay. Okay, yes, daddy. I feel like your place is closer. Could we just sleep at your place? But, you know, whatever, that's fine. Again, your place is closer and you don't have parents and family there right now, where I got my mom and my sister who could hear through the walls. So, like, you know, okay. I guess my place will do. He's like, bitch, I came prepared. One thing I love about this series is everything feels so grounded in reality. And not to say that me watching these other series that have all these fantasy elements, or sometimes you have to suspend your, you know, belief in reality and whatnot, is a bad thing. Like, no, I love all these series. Well, not all the series I've watched, but I love the majority of the things I've watched. But I love how just grounded in reality, it just feels very real and authentic. And just like how they were describing Siwon's his, you know, what he wrote, how, you know, it was, yes, it was an autobiography, but there was fun, there were twists, this, that, and the other, and like, it just feels more like, even the one girl, Painter Girl, whose name I will not remember, it will not stick in my head at this point. But even with Painter Girl, when she was sitting there talking to Attacker Man about why she didn't choose his project, she's like, you know what, yours felt unnecessarily provocative. And, you know, she was describing Siwon's work, and it, you know, it just had a, I don't know, like an honesty to it, for lack of a better term. This series just feels very, very honest. It doesn't feel like we're trying to invent unnecessary drama or storylines to progress through the episodes. It doesn't feel like everything just feels like a natural progression, and it feels like this could literally be anyone. It feels so relatable. Like I said, I don't remember which episodes I was reacting to when I said it, but I was talking about like how my experience also growing up as an overweight child and how I related to Siwon in that sense, having grown up with all manner of insecurities and still having some of those insecurities to this day. And it's just something that you deal with on a day-to-day basis, and you just work. It takes work, it takes time. I could relate to him in that aspect. I could relate to him in the sense that he living with a single mother. Like, yes, my mom got remarried when I was younger, and I've had my stepdad in my life, but I know what it was like to be separated from my birth father for pretty much the majority of my life. And like, there are lots of different aspects that I relate to personally in this series thus far with his character, and I know that there's so many other people in the world who could relate to this. It just feels real and honest. It's just like, hey, yes. And I think that might be why so many people had been asking me to react to this and have been singing its praises, because it's not a terribly complicated or convoluted storyline. It's so far it's been a very simple storyline, but the way that it's being executed and the way things, like, there are some complexities throughout, but the overarching storyline has been very simple. It's a guy who is dealing with insecurities onset through childhood, throughout his adulthood, and trying to just find his place in the world. He wrote this autobiography with no intention of submitting it because, like he said, he didn't want people to read his story and pity him. One thing he has been insecure about for the longest is people looking down on him. Again, something that's been instilled in him since he was a kid. He doesn't want people to look down on him. He doesn't want people to pity him. He doesn't want people to know about his childhood and, the dynamic between him and his dad and, all that stuff. And then, look down on him or think some sort of way sideways about him or this, that. Like, he doesn't want that. I wouldn't want that either. Like, no, save your pity. I ain't got time for that shit. So there's just so many aspects about it that are so relatable. So he doesn't want he was going to submit it because he doesn't want people to look down on him, and he's afraid that if people get to know the real him, that they're either not going to like him or they're going to look at him differently because of his past experiences, because of things that he's felt, because of things he's gone through, because he was a fat child. Lord, he has been holding on to being a fat child for so long, and this picture of him as a child got released, and like, I wasn't here thinking until they showed the picture. I was you guys were with me. I'm like, what is this picture? What is this rumor? What is circulating? What is going around? Why? Because you could see it was physically like hurting him. Like, he was feeling the pain of whatever this picture that was being circulated when they like, hey, was this you? And I assumed it was just a picture of him as a overweight kid, nothing fancy. And I'm like, to me, I'm like, I can see why it's a sore spot, because it has been such a huge part of his life and such a driving motivation in his day-to-day, why he eats the way he does, why he works out, why he is this, that, and the other. It's been such a driving force in his life. So I can understand why seeing that would upset him, because like he said, he didn't like himself back then. He did not like himself back then. And I don't even know if it's so much that he didn't like himself, or as it was, he didn't like the way he was treated back then. Because, again, kids are assholes. Kids can be assholes sometimes. Oh my god, they are cruel for no reason. And then they grow up to be asshole people. And it's just unfortunate. So he didn't like the way he was treated at that age. So seeing that, it's triggering for him. It brings back all these bad memories. It brings back feelings that he does not want to feel. And I get that. But then at the same time, I'm like, it's just a picture of you when you were a kid. You were a cute little fluffy kid. That's fine. Granted, sure, I look back at pictures of myself and I'm like, hell, I look at pictures of myself now and I'm like, but but I realize, like, me as a kid, like, yeah, some kids are fat. That's life. Yes, we get picked on, and it that sucks. But as an adult, I'm like, I try. I don't let that. I don't let those insecurities of me being a fat child, weigh down on me. Me being a fat adult, well, I've got my good days and my bad days. It is what it is. But yeah, I was sitting here like, for me, the picture is not a huge deal because he's just a chubby little kid. That's fine. But again, I see why it's so triggering to him, and that could be very triggering to a lot of other people who may be going through similar things as he's been going through here. Yeah, just very relatable. I'm glad that Dawoon didn't submit the paper on his behalf. It was little sister. Although I kind of suspected that too because she was the one who used the laptop last in the previous set of episodes reacted to. But it seems as though Dawoon maybe did have some part. I don't, because when he was talking to Mom, she's like, "Oh, you mean that article you asked me to write? Didn't you like it?" And he's like, "Yeah, I liked it." It's like, "Okay, well, we'll talk the day after tomorrow when I have time. All right, bye." So it's like it seems as though he did ask her to write something. I don't think he necessarily intended for it to be like, "Hey, make my boyfriend win." Wasn't trying to do anything like that. But I've lost my train of thought. I don't remember where I was going with that. All right, I'll brush past it. If I remember where I'm going, I'll jump back on that train. What else happened? What I thought was Sweet Boy back in episode 1 and 2, it's turned out to be the devil in disguise. I'm like, oh god, I was rooting so. And I think I saw someone comment on my last reaction where they're like, I couldn't help but laugh when you were sitting here last episode and you were trying to ship him with her, and you were all about him. And it's like, in hindsight, I'm like, yeah, I guess I was blind at that point because I wasn't seeing his character going down this path. I was seeing his character being just sort of a, not really nerdy, but a guy who just maybe does not know how to talk to someone he's attracted to, which is a very relatable thing. Again, I was thinking he was just some guy who had a crush on this girl. He liked this girl, he wanted to date this girl, but he just always put his foot in his mouth, said the wrong thing, didn't quite know how to approach her, this, that, and the other. And someone that I would find charming in a sense. Yes, he puts his foot in his mouth, but it's so charming and I just want to hug him. Baby, you tried and that's okay. I understand what you're trying to do. But no, he's turned into this just asshole monster. I'm like, oh my goodness. I unship you with everybody. No, you don't get any happy ending in my story. No, sir. So yes, again, whether or not Painter Girl and Glasses Guy set this trap up to, get whatever information and blackmail him, blah, blah, blah. He walked in. Oh. He walked in wholeheartedly. Nobody forced his ass to approach her. Nobody forced his ass to try and question her. Nobody forced his ass to grab her. No one forced his ass to grab her and start, intensely questioning. I don't think he was at the verge of yelling at her yet, but he was very intense with his tone of voice and his questioning. So nobody forced him to do any of this. So when she decided to defend herself, I'm like, girl, you better go off. Break this motherfucker's arm off. Go ahead. He deserves it. And then, we found out he's the one who posted the picture of Siwon all over the internet. And, again, I thought he was a good friend from, the first couple episodes we saw. And it's just showing you how you can't trust everybody. Just because people smile in your face doesn't mean that they mean you good. It might just be a situation of convenience. So for him and Siwon, yes, I thought they were friends, but it seems as though no, he saw Siwon as, yeah, we're friends as long as you do what I want and don't ruin my chances at this movie. But the second that Siwon, I guess, was in the running and he won this competition, all of a sudden it's like, no, we're not friends. You are the worst person in the world. I hate you. And he's out here just trying to do all kinds of social sabotage, and I'm like, oh my god, girl, what what mean girls character did you are who, like who are you? Like why is this, why are you so butthurt about this, girl? And then she even put him in his place, like, even without Siwon's script, you didn't even make it into the top 5. Your script was shit, baby. I didn't pick it because it was shit. So even if Siwon wasn't in the running, you still wouldn't have won. Your script was shit, baby. I'm sorry. So which is a hard pill to swallow. It's not easy to have people tell you that something you worked hard on is contrived and not very, very good. But that's something that he just needs to deal with. He needs to deal with the fact that his work just wasn't up to par. There were better things in the competition, with or without Siwon. And he can't, he's trying to deflect the blame. He's trying to, rather than looking at himself, analyzing himself and saying, okay, I need to do better, where can I improve, blah, blah, blah. He's just wanted to cast the blame. And he's going about it in a very childish way. He's like, okay, well, fine, I'm gonna just try and get him, I'm gonna try and embarrass him. This, I was like, girl, really? Oh, God, awful. And we had that last scene there with him and Dawoon, where you could hear him again on the phone with somebody, because Siwon is all he can talk about. Siwon is the only name that is going to fall out of this man's mouth, and he is going off, oh, his script, it wasn't even good, and I should report him to this, that, the other, and if it wasn't for Dawoon, he wouldn't this, that, the other. And it's like, so Dawoon's had enough, so he knocked the phone out and stepped on. He's like, oh, I'm so sorry, I have bad eyesight, which I'm like, I don't necessarily agree with destroying other people's property, but we're getting a point, trying to get a point across to this man. And he's like, oh, you just showing off because your parents have money, this, that, and the other. He was like, you know what, let me know how much it costs to fix. Will 1 million be enough? No? Okay, you let me know. And basically, I could read everything in his eyes. He's basically telling him, you keep my boyfriend's name out your goddamn mouth. I don't want to fight you right now. Because if I fight you, I might end up hospitalizing you or killing you or something. And I don't feel like doing that right now. I don't feel like, bloody in my hands. So I'm going to tell you once. Keep my boyfriend's name out of your mouth. Stop messing with my boyfriend. And I'll even give you some money. Take the money. Because you don't want to go down this other route, little boy. Okay? Okay. I appreciate that Dawoon is out here handling business. And he not playing games. Again, I don't necessarily agree with the destruction of property, but, we'll let some things slide. We also had this sort of semi-quasi ship with Painter Girl and Glasses Boy. They had a connection on the rooftop where he's like, oh, you have feelings for him, and she's like, yeah, I'll figure it out, blah, blah, blah. She's like, how did you know? And he's like, or she's like, you're saying it like you've also got someone. He's like, yeah, I do. They don't even know I exist, or they got no idea. And Painter Girl looked at him like, and he's like, don't worry, you don't know them. And I'm like, okay, girl. Whatever you say, boy. I see you. So, I don't know if I'm supposed to ship them together, because I was already shipping her and Siwon's sister, but then halfway through their conversation, I'm like, is Siwon's sister of legal age? Because I know I wasn't the only person who shipped them together in that moment. That the one scene they've had together in these 7 episodes, I immediately shipped them together, and I wasn't the only person, because people on Twitter were also like, yes, girl, me too. You're not the only one. But now that I'm thinking, I'm like, I don't know if she is of legal age. I would like her to be of legal age so that I can ship them together and feel comfortable about it. But I don't know if she is, because if Siwon is just entering like his freshman year in college, that would put her at, well, they were I think 2 years apart. So that would put her at like 11th grade, maybe 10th, 11th grade. Which, here in the States, 11th grade I was 15, but most people are at least like 18 when they graduate. So here in the States, 11th grade would be like somewhere between 16 and 18, 17, somewhere in that realm, 16 to 18, which may be a legal age over there. I'm not certain. I don't know. I'm gonna put that ship on pause for right now until I get further clarification about how old little sister is. But that's not the important thing right now. Let me see what else happened in this episode. We got cute moments with Daun and Sihwan, especially after he brought his bike over and then he went over to his house and he showed him the picture of him as a kid. He's like, this kid's adorable. He's like, yeah, he's got little chubby cheeks. He's adorable. And he's like, that was me. Do you still like me? I was afraid you wouldn't like me. And I'm like I was saying in that moment, girl, if he was out here trying to judge you based off of who you were as a little child, we would have other problems. If his only reason for liking you is because he thought you were a cute, skinny little child, we got other problems, baby. So I don't think he cares that you were a fat, fluffy kid. I don't think he would care if you were a fat, fluffy adult. He likes you. Oh, Lord, that boy. But they had lots of cute moments. The umbrella at the end, the hand holding in class after he shared his story with everybody else. Like, it's just, it warms my heart. Warms my heart. I really do enjoy this series. And again, the cinematography is fantastic. The soundtrack is everything. And yeah. So this was 7, so we got 4 episodes left, so that's 2 more sets of reactions. I don't know if I should get into another set tonight or if I should wait, because I don't want to spoil you guys with too many reactions to this series in 1 week, so maybe I'll wait a little bit. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this reaction. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, turn on notifications to be notified when all my shenanigans get posted. If there's anything else you'd like me to react to, be sure to leave it down in the comments. I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. If you'd like to support the channel in other ways, you're more than welcome to join us over on Patreon. You don't have to, but you're more than welcome to if you want to. I'll see you guys in my next video. Love ya. Mwah.